They said I was gone. My name was whispered through tears, my photo framed in black and gold, and the world mourned me. But I wasn't dead. Not yet. I was trapped in a body that wouldn't move, a mind screaming behind unresponsive eyes, forced to watch as my life was stripped away one piece at a time. And by the time I opened them again, someone else had taken my place. It happened on a rainy Thursday evening, the kind of day where the sky feels heavy with warning. Michael and I had fought again, nothing new, but that night it felt final. He said I had changed, that I'd become cold, distant. I said he'd stopped seeing me at all. I remember slamming the door, getting into the car and driving through the storm, my vision blurred by tears more than rain. The last thing I saw was the blinding glare of headlights. And then, nothing. They told me later I'd been in a coma for 6 months. But during those months I was aware. I heard voices. I felt hands. I even heard Michael's, trembling, broken, whispering that he couldn't live without me. But then his voice stopped coming. As when I finally woke up, the world was quiet. My mouth was dry, my throat ached from the breathing tube. The nurse gasped when my eyes fluttered open, said I was a miracle. But as soon as she left to call the doctor, I turned my head toward the table beside me. And there it was, a picture of Michael and her. A woman I didn't recognize. Blonde, smiling, wearing my favorite necklace, the one he said was just for me. The caption below the photo in the newspaper clipping read, "Michael Thompson attends charity gala with longtime partner Lila Adams." Partner. The word burned deeper than any wound I'd suffered in that crash. When Michael finally came to the hospital, he looked uncomfortable, not shocked, not even emotional, just cornered. "Grace," he said, voice careful. "You're awake, thank God." But his eyes didn't match the words. I searched his face for the man who once promised me forever, but all I saw was guilt and fear. He stayed for 10 minutes, told me I needed rest, that everything would be explained later. Then he left. The next day she came, Lila. She was younger, confident, polished, and she looked at me the way you'd look at an old photo that's lost its colour. "I'm so glad you're okay," she said, her voice too sweet to be sincere. "Michael's been through so much. Michael's been through so much. Not you've been through so much. Not we're glad you're alive." I smiled, weakly but deliberately. "He always needed someone to take care of him," I whispered. "I'm glad he found you." She didn't catch the edge in my tone, but I meant every word differently than she heard them. For weeks I recovered in silence. I listened, observed, remembered. Michael didn't visit again. Lila did, occasionally bringing flowers or expensive fruit baskets as if guilt could be gift-wrapped. The nurses whispered when they thought I couldn't hear. "That's the wife who came back from the dead." Her husband moved on before the funeral flowers even wilted. Each word became a seed, and from that seed, something darker began to grow inside me. Not just pain, but purpose. When I was discharged, I didn't tell anyone where I'd go. Michael had sold our house, moved into a new one with her. But I still had friends, people who remembered who I was before I became a ghost. One of them, Sarah, helped me find a place, a small apartment on the other side of town. From there, I began watching. Not obsessively, strategically. Their social media was a highlight reel of betrayal. Lila wearing my clothes. Michael using my recipes. The dog I rescued curled in her lap. Every detail screamed that they hadn't just replaced me, they'd rewritten me. I didn't want to hurt them. Not at first, I just wanted them to see me. The real me. The woman who'd been there through every late-night ER visit, every unpaid bill, every moment of his doubt. So I sent him a letter, not threatening, just a few words. You said you couldn't live without me. I'm glad you learned how. No signature, no address, but I knew he'd know. The next day his messages poured in, calls, texts, even an email, all filled with panic and disbelief. He begged to see me, and when he came to my door I almost didn't recognize him. Michael looked older, smaller. Maybe guilt had its own way of aging people. He stood there, staring at me like he'd seen a ghost. Maybe he had. Grace, he whispered, I thought you'd died? I finished for him. Yes, I heard. His eyes welled up. It wasn't like that. Lila helped me through. I laughed, not cruelly, just tiredly. Helped you through what? My absence or your convenience? He looked away. I didn't know how to grieve you. By moving her into our home? I asked. By giving her my necklace? My life? He said nothing. Silence has a way of confirming what words try to hide. Then he said something that broke the last piece of me. Grace, you were gone. I needed someone alive. That was when I realized I was more alive than he'd ever be. I didn't shout. I didn't throw things. I just smiled. Then stay alive with her, I said quietly, because I've already died once for you. Never again. And I closed the door. That night, I packed everything I owned, what little of me was left, and disappeared. I changed my number, my address, even my name. But I didn't disappear into sadness. I started writing again, something I hadn't done since before the marriage. I wrote about loss, rebirth, betrayal, and strength. People read it, related to it. And for the first time in years, I wasn't invisible anymore. Months later, my first book came out, under a pen name, Eleanor Grace. It was titled Before My Body Was Cold. And when it became a bestseller, Michael and Lila's faces appeared in magazines again, this time under headlines that read, Author of Viral Memoir Reveals Real Story of Husband's Betrayal. I didn't have to expose them. The truth has a way of revealing itself, once you stop trying to hide it. They reached out once. Michael sent a long, rambling apology. I never replied. Lila? She sent a single line. You won. But I hadn't. Because revenge doesn't heal, it just evens the air enough for you to breathe again. Sometimes I visit the cemetery where they buried my empty coffin. There's a stone with my name, my birth date, and an unfinished dash. The date of death left blank. I stand there, watching people pass by. Some whisper, some avoid eye contact. And I smile. Because in their eyes, I'll always be a ghost. But I know better. I didn't die that night on the road. I died the day Michael replaced me, and I was reborn the moment I stopped needing to be seen. If you've ever been erased by love, by betrayal, by the people who promised forever, remember this: you are not what they replaced. You are what survived. And sometimes, surviving is the most beautiful revenge of all.